are selling more tickets than a lot of these
Yeah.
mainstream artists. We're getting bigger looks on a lot of these mainstream artists, streaming more than a lot of these artists who may say these things to us. So really, who's limiting themselves?
People like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You're ruining it. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I know a lot of people that's also pursuing music that started when I started. And it's not, they not doing it. That's not happening.
Big Boy's
Big
Neighborhood,
Boy.
beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the neighborhood. If you know, you know, and if you don't, consider this an introduction. First off, I gotta say, John Keith, welcome to the neighborhood, my brother. How art thou?
Man, I'm amazing right now.
Yeah, you are, brother. Yeah,
Crazy.
you are. Miles Minnick, welcome to the neighborhood.
Hey, man, it's a blessing to be here, man.
How does this come together? Before we start anything, man, because there's always solo grounds. You know, and Miles, the first time I heard your name, it was just you. So how does this come together, this collab that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, man, I think, you know what I mean? Like, we're part of the Christian rap genre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's not a lot of Christian rappers in California.
Got
You
you,
know what
got
I mean?
you,
And so
yeah.
we naturally gravitated towards each other. We did a tour together a few years ago. And it's just like this natural camaraderie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
just flow.
And you say the Christian rap genre.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what's crazy, man, is that people would, you know, there's been some that's tapped in.
Mhm.
You know, and then you'll see other things that's kind of like Christ-like, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? But people would kind of sit back and be like, oh, man, that's Christian rap. And people looked at it a certain way. But when it comes to you guys, I think it's very different the way that you guys are having people kind of turn a corner. And John Key, do you feel that?
Absolutely.
Intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? There's like this thing that people will do when they hear music like ours. They'll be like, wait, what? Like, this is Christian rap? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's
Right.
like this surprise, and it's like, it's unfortunate that the surprise is there, and yet it's also good because it's like, they're just experiencing good music.
Right.
It happens to be art that doesn't, degrade women and push, things that's gonna, tear our communities apart and glorify God, but it's also just excellent art.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and you can't deny hopefully, you can't deny great music.
Yeah.
You know, and it's crazy because you'll have people that listen to the music or the message and they'll have a closed ear or like, man, I'm not going to listen to that.
Yeah.
But then the things that we do listen to, it's crazy. And then we're not going to
Right.
sit up and do a holier than thou interview or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy. What we will listen to.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I ain't gonna listen to that. I'll probably get saved listening to that. You know what I'm saying? This probably may help my life out. It'll make me a better person. I don't want to hear this, putting all these thoughts in my head. You know what I'm saying? But has it always been like that? Because when you look at you guys, man, it's like the culture. You could tell that you're young. You could tell you're hip hop. You could tell you love what you do. You know what I'm saying? But had it always, John Keith, had it always been a child of Christ for you as far as growing up?
Well, I mean, I was raised in a house, that, Christianity, like my parents both, my dad's a pastor,
Gotcha.
And so like we were raised in a Christian household, but I wasn't always serious about, a relationship with God. That didn't come until about 17, 18 years old. So, I'm 27 now.
Right.
So, yeah, but by the time I was starting to pursue music, yeah.
Right.
Like
Had you
it
ever
was-
did what they secular hip hop?
Nah, I never, nah,
Right.
I started writing raps when I was 14.
Right.
And then I started recording when I was 16.
And all that is Christ? Christian rap?
When I was writing, it was kind of just about emotions. It was just
Right,
where I
gotcha.
was at. You know what I'm saying? And there, even in that, there was a pursuit, like a search for God.
Gotcha.
You know what
So
I'm
this
saying?
is just life.
I didn't have the relationship yet, but even in those writings as a 14-year-old, I was like, God, where are you? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like that's the content of the raps. And so then, that pursued until about 17, 18 years old when like I actually, start a real relationship with God. And then that's, kind of also when I started pursuing music for real. So yeah, it wasn't a thought to go, oh, I want to do this in a Christian genre.
Right.
It was just, this is just the outpouring of my life,
Right. What about you, Miles?
Yeah, for me, I started off doing mainstream type rap. You know what I mean? Like living in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
What was big out there when I was growing up was like that real gangster, that gutter, that mob music. You know what I'm saying? So all my cousins was rapping, my brother was rapping, and I came up in that. So
Right.
like DB the General, like D-Lo, like that area. Like D-Lo, we don't give a about no.
So you started off secular.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
He
sure.
was ratchet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Can you listen to anything old from you?
I can.
Yeah,
I can.
okay.
I mean, not like, hey, like I ain't gonna turn up to
Right,
it.
right,
but,
right.
Like, you know, reminisce. Like, dang, that's really where I started at. Like, I started off battle rapping, performing at proms and clubs, like 21 and up clubs from high school. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think around the same age as John though, like 17, 18. You know, I started to really lean into the Lord with my
How
music.
so?
So for me, bro, I didn't grow up in a Christian household. Family members doing cocaine, prostituting, pimping, drug dealing, all of that. And so I had no like Christian example.
Right.
The most I knew about God, I knew he was maybe real, and I knew how to ask him for things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
what we do. Yeah, bad times.
Like,
we
God,
pray
if you
out.
get me out of this.
Yeah.
We even pray for sin. You know what I'm saying? Like, God, please let this. You're like, whoa, hold on. What am I asking for here?
Yeah. Legit. So really what did it for me, man, I used to smoke a lot of weed, right? Like daily, like 5 blunts a day. Like that was culture, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Popping
Yeah, hell
pills
yeah.
and all of that. And so it was Wednesday night, one day when I was 17 years old. I'm in the middle of a smoking session, right? My partner Dante was like, hey, Miles, bro, we should go to church. I'm like, go to church? Like, bro, what did you talking about? Go to church. He's like,
Right.
it's Wednesday night. We could go to the youth group. You know what I'm saying? Talk
Had
to
he
the
been
girls,
going to
get their
church?
phone
Had
number.
Dante been going to church?
So Dante went one time, and he seen there was a lot of girls there from
females
the
on.
high schools. Like,
Yeah,
it
that's funny.
Where the ladies at?
was, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
was lit. He's like, bro, we could go, you know what I'm saying? Talk to all the females or whatever. And so I didn't want to go, but they drugged me in there anyway. And coincidentally, the youth group was closed that night. So we went into the main service. And mind you, man, me being the main one who didn't want to go into that church, no church training, never really been into one, I was feeling something I never felt before, for real. Like, I'm clapping my hands to the music, listening to the sermon. And at the end of the sermon, the pastor did what's called an altar call, which I'd never seen it before in my life, right? But he said, yo, if this message touched you, come to the front. Out of this mega church, I'm the only one that went to the front.
As a 17-year-old.
As a 17-year-old.
That was just smoking blunts that didn't want to go.
Still high.
Yeah.
Still high. Still high. Fresh off the street. No church training. Call me to the front. Well, I answered the call to go to the front. And then I felt a presence that I'd never felt before in my life. And what it felt like God took away one high and gave me a new one.
Yeah, man.
And so that moment, I felt like God proved his existence to me. You know what I'm saying? Because no club, no party, no drug gave me that warmth, that embrace. You know
But
what
you
I'm
know,
saying?
Miles, you know how sometimes we'll go through something and then the next day when your nostrils clear all over, you try to shake it off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At any point did you try to like, oh man, I was tripping, or you just knew that was divinity, like that was a divine
Let me
calling?
tell you, like there was moments where like my old self would try to creep in to get me back to where I was.
Oh yeah.
But I would always refer back to that day. Like,
Like what that felt like.
it kept me. It kept me. You know what I'm saying? I was still doing that gangster music.
Right.
For about, you know what I'm saying, like maybe a year or two.
Yeah, it take time too though.
It do.
Yeah.
It do. I started to feel bad about it after that moment. Yeah.
It didn't have that same feeling.
For sure.
Same
Changed
gratification.
his heart.
I feel you on that, bro. And it's crazy because I have a 17-year-old son and my daughter's 16. And just in the world, there's so many things that's geared to take you away from something.
Yeah.
And even with my kids, like I'm battling the internet and social media. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things that gear your kids away from, you know, or human beings. It gears you away from what's supposed to be real and what that feeling is. So even at the age of 17, Miles, when you think about like, man, I felt something, did you have any of your friends or your homies that thought like, oh man, he crazy?
Yeah.
Or he going through something?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going back over there?
Bro, all of them thought that.
Yeah.
I was going to church every single Wednesday after that by myself.
Yeah.
And I was like the cool kid in school. I had a lot of friends, but none of them wanted to go with me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to go to church. Even my dad didn't want to go. But he was like, son, I'm not going to go in there with you. But if you want to go, I'll take you.
I would have went with you, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, bro.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh,
Yeah.
She would have went too.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I understand, bro. Sometimes you got to do certain things by yourself. Everybody can't
yourself.
go on the journey with you.
By yourself.
Right.
Everybody can't, man. And the ones that you try to pull with you, if they can't, then, you know, because it's a tug of war. Either
For
you're
sure.
gonna pull somebody in or they're gonna pull you back out.
For sure.
And sometimes it's better to just show up by yourself, bro. And, and as you see, you figured that out.
Yeah, on
You know
God.
what I'm saying? You figured that out, bro. And it's also as wild because you know how you'll see someone and you'll say, man, they could have it all over here. You know, they got the talent, they got this, they can have it all over here, but none of that means anything to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all do this by choice.
See, you talking. With God, you get everything.
Right.
You know, it was funny. All the stuff I was chasing when I was doing, mainstream secular music, we're getting now.
Yeah, man.
You know
and
what
you're
I'm
doing
saying?
it your way.
Hey, we're doing it Yahweh. You
Yeah,
feel
hello.
me? Yeah.
Hey, man, do you know who Jason Wilson is?
Jason Wilson. The
Yeah,
name sounds
Jason
familiar.
Wilson. He's a brother that's out of Detroit. When you say you're doing it Yahweh, when you get a moment, just tap in and see what his teachings are.
For sure.
As well, man. And he mentors a lot of kids and everything. Just a good brother. But when you said that, it reminded me of Jason. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now, man, when you see that there is music that's being created, and we say, oh, it's music for the soul, it feels good, and you guys are creating that. But when you guys just walked in, off air, y'all started talking about Kendrick.
Yeah.
So this isn't I can't, and you know what I'm saying? Or, I need to lead what are you guys listening to? But have you guys listened to the Kendrick album? And if you have, how do you, not how do you as in a naive way, but you listen
Yeah.
and you're of the world as well. So
Yeah. So I love this topic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, right? To John, Kendrick Lamar is the greatest rapper of all time.
yes, sir.
Point blank, period. Right? I think that the church has this thing where it's like, okay, well, if things are being talked about in music that doesn't glorify God, we can't listen to it. I think for some people that might be true, because for some people, they, you're not able to like sit and listen to something like that and listen to it without immersing yourself in it, right? But like for instance, Kendrick got a song on this. I love the project.
Yeah.
Artistically, I love the project. He got a song on there, Reincarnated, where he talks about a whole bunch of stuff that not really doesn't align with our faith at all, right? But the difference is being able to sit and listen to that and go, okay, so like, I can see his heart in this as a man, right? Understand what he's trying to say. Still separate myself, like my thoughts and my heart from it. I don't have to align with it just because I like it artistically. And I can also be like, okay, well, like this is something that, I can lean into prayer for somebody about. I can, what I'm saying? Like all that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of times, I wouldn't say with that song, but there is certain times where you can listen to music from somebody that's not a Christian per se, and you can still go, okay, what is it that God is trying to say to me through this, even though this person is not, following God per se. So, yeah.
Is it hard when people think that being a Christian rapper that y'all got to be perfect? There's people, there's human being, and then there's just this thing where people just feel like, oh, you got to be perfect.
Yeah. A lot of people look at Christian rappers like pastors,
right? Yeah.
It's like, yo, I'm not your pastor,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, I love God, I live for the Lord, but like there's pastors are held to a certain standard, and they want to put us up there as well, which is an honor to be looked at like that. But it's like, yo, I'm a human too. You know what I'm saying? Like we turn up, we have fun. All those kind of things.
And you can see it, bro.
And the thing is too, though, like, we turn up, we have fun, and also like we get angry.
Yeah.
We get sad. We fall in love. Like, it's
what are y'all, human?
It's, you know what I'm saying? like and that's, for me personally, in a lot of my music, I try and lean into and talk about those things that's just a part of, the human experience, and showing through the eyes of someone that I have a bar on a song that I just dropped recently. It made a lot of people mad, where I say, we might beat your brakes off and then bring you back to church. And people are like, whoa. Like, wait.
Can't say that.
Can't say that. And I'm like, look, I'm saying this is a thing I struggle with. I have anger issues. You know what I'm saying? I tend to be a hothead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, these are things that are just, it's just human. You know what I'm saying? Like, God willing, I won't get in a fight, but we might.
What about the people that say, man, you would be bigger if you just did this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and of course you do it your way, and we sitting down together because you guys are doing it your way.
Yeah.
But have each one of you heard that?
I've definitely heard that. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the OGs back where I'm from, they would say, man, you're ruining your future by doing this for God.
Yeah, man, you ruining your future. No.
Yeah, I'm saying, like you sitting here doing meth, telling me I'm ruining my future, right? But literally, we alluded to it earlier, like, we are selling more tickets than a lot of these mainstream artists. We're getting bigger looks than a lot of these mainstream artists, streaming more than a lot of these artists who may say these things to us. So really, who's limiting themselves? You know what I'm saying? Because it's not us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I believe, look, if God want to breathe on something, if God want to bless something, he going to bless it. Facts. And what we're doing, he blessing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Majorly.
So we both have separate festivals.
Yep.
Right, that he has one he throws in the Bay, and then I have one that I throw in Nashville with some of my other friends, and they're both completely Christian hip hop festivals. Right, we did 1,300 tickets this year, sold out. And you guys, 1,200 tickets. So like, people are like, oh, you know what I'm saying, you're ruining it. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I know a lot of people that's also pursuing music that started when I started. And it's not, they not doing it. That's not happening.
Hey, man, and you know what's wild about just when you see people doing it their way, and then there's probably so many people, man. And for one, when you do something, you start to recognize other people that do it. It becomes this community. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But then also you'll see someone else when you do it. And when I see what you guys do, you guys are probably encouraging so many others that's like, man, I want to do that. Or at one point, maybe you guys are even doing it kind of just in the dark. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, and that's with anything that you're doing. When you see like people, like, oh man, that's like, you know, even with television, when you didn't see somebody that looked like you and then you saw somebody on TV that looked like you, that's when you say, man, I can do that.
Yeah.
So when you start seeing like energy and like people, that's what you guys are creating for so many people, man. And you also got to understand that there is a dialogue that I think that people are missing. Like, I wish my guy Jose was here. My guy Jose just moved back to Mexico, right? And I call my guy Jose, I call him my extension cord to the Lord. And the reason why I call him my extension cord, and you guys are the same, extension cords to the Lord. My guy Jose is extremely Christian. You know, we can't even drive off without prayer in the morning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he's so-called closer, and he's my extension cord to the Lord that keeps me plugged in. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because early on, we always had Christ in our house. You know, when we were homeless, we lived in the mission. You know what I'm saying? And even through some of my times of thinking that I wanted to do certain things when I was about 9-10 years of age, right? We were living in a place called the Sunlight Mission. In the Sunlight Mission, we were homeless. You had to go to church, so on and so forth, right? And I went to the front of the altar, and I went and I did prayer. And on the way back, I'm looking up the aisle, and it's a small church. As I'm walking up the aisle, I'm looking, and I can see the entire, like, all the pews. I can see to the back of the church, everything. I could see it. It seemed like this lady grew out of the ground right in front of me. And she told me, she said, don't let the devil get a hold of you.
Wow.
And as quick as she popped in my face, I didn't see her walk away. This isn't me like, oh, I was hazy. And you know what I'm saying? I know what I seen. Yeah. And I know the feeling that I had.
Come on.
And so when she disappeared, walked on, I don't know what happened. Every time from that moment on, I always said, man, Kurt, don't let the devil get a hold of you. Don't let the devil get a hold of you. Even when I was tripping. The reason why I didn't get caught up in certain things that could have cost me my life, cost me my freedom, so on and so forth, because I always was like, man, do your mom want this? And then I'll be like, man, don't let the Lord get, you know, and not holier than that. I'm talking about just for me.
For sure.
It probably wouldn't work for somebody else. And I can't tell somebody, oh, don't let the devil get a hold of you. It wouldn't stick to you the way that it stuck to me. But I always felt that. And it's crazy because people don't want to have, or don't want to is a lot. People don't have these conversations.
That's right.
Because sometimes people feel that when you have these conversations, it you know, it could show weakness, it could show whatever it may be, but we have these other dialogues without any hesitation on any other front.
Yeah.
We'd talk about some of the most craziest things in a circle.
Yeah.
But then when you start talking about Christ, you're talking about Christianity, whatever religion, people,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys see that
Yeah.
a lot. If you haven't now, I know you've seen it before. You
Yeah.
know, and what
Yeah.
what are those experiences like when you feel like people don't want to get into a conversation because it's maybe harder to have these conversations?
Yeah. For me, it's funny because actually, you know, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't feel too difficult for me because I feel like, you know, people often want what is it? There's a pastor somewhere that said it a certain way. I don't even remember exactly how he said it, but it's like, yo, they want the laws of the kingdom without the king. Or like they want, you know, the culture of the kingdom without the king. So like there's a lot of wisdom that people just take and it's like, oh yeah, you know, like there's just things that's just good to do. It's like, okay, like, you know, loving your neighbor, treating someone as you would like to be treated, all these things. It's like taking things that Jesus said and being like, oh, this is good to talk about. We can get into a conversation about that, but you don't even know who said that. You don't know where that came from, where that wisdom came from, who was the first person to say that. And so I don't really have a problem getting into that because there's all these doors, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay,
Right.
you can give someone the wisdom, and I don't think everything has to be like blasting in somebody's face
Right.
off the jump. You know what I'm saying? Like you can give somebody
I
the
think that turned
wisdom.
people away too.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
You can
I
give
think,
somebody the
like-
wisdom that Jesus has, and they be like, oh, okay, that's actually good. And then, you know, you build a relationship with someone like that, and it's like, okay.
There it is. I'm big on like relational evangelism. Like just doing life with somebody, going to the gym with them, hooping, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Getting to know them. And then when the opportunity arises where they're going through something or, you know what I'm saying, when they have a question about God, boom, there's an opportunity for us to talk about
Right.
it. Instead of like, you need to repent or you're going
Yeah,
to hell.
yeah.
Like,
Finger all in your face and
like
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
people probably think y'all live in the church. Like y'all walk outside the church. You know what I'm saying? like, where you going home to? Oh, gotta go into the church. You know? But even when you listen to the music, it's like, man, like you can't deny turn up.
come on, slap.
And you can't deny head bobbing. And even when I look at the videos and even just the project, the newest project, I'm like, man, you can't deny great music. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people, and it's wild because, and not just on your genre, there's just some things that people, and especially now, they won't even press play.
Yeah.
You know, like we say this all the time when it comes to social media. They be like, oh man, that's such and such is whack. You're like, man, did you hear it? Nah.
Yeah.
I just know it is.
Did you
Like,
listen?
Yeah, you know, that Kendrick, man, that sounded the same. Did you listen to it? No, man, I know. You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't even crack it open to investigate it.
Man, yeah. Now, you know, that's a thing too that we've experienced as well. So like we're having conversations like, do we still want to label it Christian rap? Are we gonna push ourselves as Christian rappers or just take the Kendrick approach where it's like slaps with substance? You know what I'm saying? But either way, you know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna reach those who it's supposed to reach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But do you feel like, man, when you look out even now, that through the journey you've seen more people that you're like, man, they didn't show up before. Like something's happening here.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There's a new appetite in the industry. For
Right.
sure.
Right.
People are waking
It's
up
up.
to like, wait a minute, like for years, like we've been partying to Molly music or
Right.
or to murder music. But like now we're seeing people really dying and people overdosing on fentanyl and all these kind of things. It's like, wait a
it's
minute.
really happening.
Like
Not just
people's-
in the music anymore.
I'm saying, like now it's real life. It's happening on big stages. So it's like people are looking for something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now it's like it goes an opportunity. I think that's probably why like what's happening with us is happening. Where like the Lord is bringing us to a new light to cater to that craving because
Yeah.
there is a craving,
Absolutely.
and we here for that.
It's funny. There's I get like comments on my Instagram sometimes where it's like, I don't even believe what he believed, but this is fire. I'm listening.
Right.
Or like, yo, I'm a Muslim and this is
All the
You know
time.
what I'm saying? Like all the time. And so it's like people are tired of death.
Right.
They're tired of listening to and ingesting poison all the time.
Yeah. And you know what? And what I want for people that's watching this, man, I don't want people to feel like, oh man, you know, they're having this talking down conversation. We're having a talking up conversation.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so
and,
hard.
and it's not a, like I said, it's not a holier than thou, but we sit down and I've interviewed, you know, I'm 30 years in radio. So I've interviewed everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've interviewed everybody and everybody has an angle or a conversation. And this is just a conversation that I wanted to have. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like it was just very necessary. And I see what you guys are doing, man. And I'm just like, you can't deny talent. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are extremely talented. And also, man, y'all look like the culture because you guys are the culture.
Yeah.
So somebody's looking at you guys and it's like, oh man, you know, because there's these misconceptions
For sure.
of, oh, something could be corny. I can't do this. I can't have a good time. I can't laugh. And it's crazy because I've even had people that say they can't be saved or they can't do it today. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a time like, man, I gotta turn up, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? Like you think you're gonna get this thing, man, where it's like, oh, when I turn 30, you know what I'm saying? When I get this out my system, but sometimes you don't get that time, bro.
That's what I'm saying. And really, like, there's no fun like the fun I'm having in the presence of God for real.
Right.
Like, don't y'all want to party and not have to look over your shoulder?
Yeah.
Don't y'all want to enjoy yourselves and not have to worry about a bumping into your shoulder and you like running into somebody and it's beef? Like we get to live free on this side and still have fun and still live life. And
What are the
turn up.
shows like?
Oh, brother, the show.
Yeah.
Oh, big boy, we got to get you out to one of our LA
And I
shows.
will.
Yeah. The shows, it's pandemonium. It's pandemonium, but in a good way, in a safe way. Like I said,
We
like
got footage of both. We'll show you.
oh
We'll show you.
yeah. Like, you know, sometimes like when you go to a club or like I used to live in the Bay, so like we'll go to Oracle Arena, you know what I'm saying, where everybody's smoking, drinking, fighting, all of that. Which
You
like
was turning up right now. Did you
which,
see
yeah. Which is like we're from that, so we know that we're used to that. You feel me? But like at these shows, it's still the same level of energy.
Yeah, man.
But it's like it's a different. There's safety in it. There's love in the air. Like
One of my favorite compliments that I ever got about our festival. Somebody commented it. It was a woman. She said, "I'm so happy that like I'm able to come to a festival like this. I can come by myself,
Right.
and I don't have to worry about anything happening to me because the people here, like even if I don't know them, they're not trying to get me home. They're not trying to. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just." I can go and enjoy music and go home. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was beautiful.
Drop your kids off, pick your kids up. You know, talk to what's going on with this collab as well.
Woo!
And the title too, though, bro. The title is
West Indies.
That is an amazing title, dude. You know when you hear something you're like, I should have had that. I'm like, man, it was hanging there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was. So is it West Indy or West Indies?
West Indies.
So with an S.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so West Indies. Explain that.
Yeah, man. So
And that's perfect.
yo, brother. So it really
We're
began.
hype.
It began with you know what I'm saying? We seen the West was having such a moment, like in culture. Like it was right after the Inglewood concert with
man.
everybody on. You was there, everybody
the
on
pop
stage.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like to be in California during that time, it was something in the air. You know what I'm saying? We kept talking, we kept linking up, and he was sending me some beats, and we did one song together called "God Is Right," and it's slapping. And then he went on live to preview another West Coast sounding song
Yeah, it was just
called "Him," which is our single. I sent him a text. I'm like, bro, what if we don't just do one song? What if we do a tape and call it West Indies?
Yeah, the crazy thing is he said EP.
Oh yeah,
Right, right.
He said, "What if we do an EP? Call it West Indies." I was like, "Oh, yeah, we it's up. We got it." And then we just kept making songs.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and it was like, "Oh, this cannot be an EP anymore. This is an album."
Oh, so it's not an EP?
Oh,
It's,
this
it's an
is
album.
Really?
It's a full
Hey
project.
man, and when though? Because even when I was hearing EP,
Yeah.
so now it's an album.
It is. It
now
is.
watch y'all gonna keep going like man, and now it's a
Compilation.
it's trilogy. Yeah, it's double now, big. You know what I'm saying? Like, but so you know that when you go in to record something, there's just a feeling there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you say, oh, it's that one, and then it goes to EP, then it goes to full, and when do we get it?
Well, you got the first single 2
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the full project is premiering,
Uh-oh.
releasing January 2025.
As it should be,
And
bro.
you got the date? Is it 23rd or?
Man, I thought she was about to tell me the date. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
I was like, he
dude.
got it. He about to
John
give us
was
the
over
date.
there like,
I think look either the 23rd.
But we know it's
25th.
2025 though.
For sure.
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey man, so what do y'all do during the holidays? Is it even more so? Do y'all get a chance to kind of relax, gearing up for 2025, or?
I mean, it's it changes. So like this year is, well, first of all, Miles doesn't ever get to relax ever for any reason. Miles does 47 shows a week every single week. He's gone. I don't know where he lives. I can't get a hold of this man. It's the first time me seeing him this year. That's not true. But he be gone. He be active.
Hey man, and I don't know if I told you on or off air, but it was DJ Hed. DJ Hed, Miles is the one who told me, Big, you got to tap in with this dude. And I remember I went to your page and I just started going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, and not that you go to try to find something wrong. I was just like, this dude is doing everything right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And like I say, you can't deny talent. If that's what you are, if you're in the music business, if you're a rapper, if you're an artist, then you can't deny good music. There's a lot of trash out there too, though.
There's
a lot of trash.
Yeah, but you can't deny good music. Do y'all ever feel like you're pushing something uphill sometimes, either now or before?
Yeah. Yeah, for
like
sure.
how, like you mean pushing uphill in like
against the current, right?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you come into the genre of hip hop with a different angle, a different message, initially you could get the side eye like, who is this? Like, what y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? So I would kind of get that online. But what's funny, in person, I would low-key get more love from the street, from the gangsters and all of that than I would get from the church at first. You know what I'm saying? They would turn up with us, like sing the music, like invite us back to do all kind of shows with our message. You know what I mean? So we get both, but primarily like even the resistance ain't holding us back.
Even the collabs or the looks that you guys get, not do y'all trip off of that, but do you see how people are even starting to like collab more or speak on you guys more?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes, it's 2025. Like I know John got some stuff in the tuck with like some big artists, but like even earlier,
Untuck it.
He said untuck.
Yeah, man, wear it out. Who you got? You know what I'm saying?
Man, I don't know. Rodney might get me. I don't know. About
yeah. But man, even like a few months ago, like me dropping with P-Lo and SOB RBE and like E40 in my DMs. You know what I'm saying? I got some with I Am Sue coming out. Like, and we talking to a lot of LA artists too. Shout out Zoe Osama.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like they're tapping in. I feel like the walls are broken down now.
Yeah.
You know what
man.
I'm saying? So we can coexist. Man. We can coexist.
But you know what it is too, man? And it goes back to when I say, man, you can't front on a good thing. You can't front on talent.
Yeah.
And unless you're just gonna totally turn yourself off. And I don't even mean just with Christian rap. If you just turn yourself off of anything.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear something or you don't want to see something and you just turn it off. And this is just one of them things too, man, where I feel like you guys are doing it your way that I had to get y'all in here.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was so much coming back that had y'all name on it. That it not forced me, but it made me want to sit down with you.
Man,
because the work you're already doing.
Thank you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And if you do it right and you do it your way, then everybody at some point, or most, or whoever it is, they'll see it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They'll see it, and you just don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all didn't do this to come and sit with Big Boy, but at some point, we here together. It wasn't like you got in the studio, it's like, man, we gonna go. This one got to see Big. But you worked on what you were doing. And then everything kind of comes together.
Then it came together.
You know what I'm saying? Like Sway. You know what I'm saying? Like that's another one, bro. Like Sway got an ear and Sway got an influence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Sway is real to the game, and you'll see people that's just real to the game, and there's no way you could deny it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What were dark times for you guys?
Man, dark times.
You mean just like
Life.
personally?
Yep.
Yeah, man. So like I come from like a heavy mental health battle. Like I've struggled with that my whole life. What pushed me to Christ was I was like, God, if you don't show up somehow, I'm out. Like I'll remove myself from this planet. And that was the road I was on.
And this
Jesus,
is real life.
Yeah, and that's what I'm. So like, and Jesus stepped in and saved me. And and this is the part that a lot of Christians don't like. Jesus stepped in and saved me, and I have a relationship with Jesus, and also I still right now struggle with depression,
right,
heavily. You know what I'm saying? And still struggle with some of those same battles, and it's a daily. I have to turn to Jesus. I have to turn to Jesus, or we can go back. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like Christians like, oh, you're not really saved if that's still going to. Oh, it's demonic oppression. He got demons. He got it's
right.
No,
trying to put labels.
Yeah, no, it's I'm human. We live in a broken world.
Come on.
And daily I have to turn to Jesus.
I think that's extremely powerful because some people think that there's just this button that ends all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, okay, you know, I walk with Christ, I'm a Christian, whatever, I'm religious, and that just ends everything. Yeah. And you turn off. But it's crazy that you say, even if I heard you right, even people that's in the church was trying to categorize what your depression is.
So it's funny.
Like, there's no way you could be depressed if you're really a child of Christ.
My pastor gave me this illustration just the other day. I thought it was crazy, right? He said, so everyone looks at Christianity like it's this, right? It's like this circle. Everything in the circle is Christianity, and everything on the outside of the circle is not Christianity. So that's how everyone views it, right? He said, but it's much more like this. There's a road. You're either gonna walk towards Christ or you're walking backwards. So if you're walking towards Christ, all these things you're gonna encounter all these things, but you're walking towards Christ, right? It's not a circle. It's not that's outside of the bounds. Right. Yeah, not Christian anymore. It's are you moving towards Jesus or not?
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And so like, yeah, like that's really reshaped my thoughts around it.
And then you got to figure out you're human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why years ago there was a pastor that I knew, and he did something, and he's not the pastor. They kicked him out of the church. Yeah. But he's still such a great guy, but the human side, he couldn't get past. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, he's back. He's doing well. It's just that they was holding him up holier than thou. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? It was just a different thing that he had to deal with. And do you feel like there's times when you say, oh, I'm Christian, that you got to deal with things that people think are, man, how can you deal with that when you're a Christian?
Yeah. It's those things. It's, it's even, it's things like having public disagreements. You know what I'm saying? Like I just got out of a situation earlier this year. I had they say a beef with another rapper. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like people will be like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
But you a Christian rapper. You're not supposed to. It's like, no, there's disagreements.
Right.
You can have disagreement. You can publicly be like, hey, yo,
yeah,
I do not agree with nothing that this person is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's still a thing.
Yeah, man. And people think that it's supposed to be like this box, and you're almost levitating. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what about you, Miles? Like, just life things, man. What was the arrival? What was some of the hardships?
Like some of the hard times, I think some of my hard times are really self-inflicted. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say 2017, 2018 was a hard time for me and my wife. Like, because I was busy like chasing the dream, chasing what I felt like was the calling, right? But in the root of that, I left my jobs, right? I was like on one what I was doing, I was rushing God instead of trusting God, right? I was like, okay, God gave me this dream. I got to go out and fulfill it. I got to, yeah, babe, like, you go ahead, like, hold it down, but I'm going to go do these shows. I'm da-da-da-da-da. But nothing was working the way I thought it was going to work. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, she over here DoorDashing and Ubering and stuff while I'm trying to make beats and, like, do features and stuff. And, like, that put a strain, like on the family. You know what I mean? Until I was able to wake up, like, wait a minute, like, let me get my priorities in order, right? Like, one thing that my pastor taught me was, like, priorities is like a button up. You know what I mean? If you get your priorities out of order, you put that second button on top, and then everything else is out of whack.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, for me, it's God first. It's the marriage, it's the kids, and then everything else will fall in order. You feel what I'm saying? And so
that's a great analogy.
And so how that worked for me was like, I'm like, you know what, God, like I'm a pursue you and take care of my family. And if you want if you want to bless my career, I'm gonna let you do it. But I'm gonna work at Travis Credit Union. I'm gonna take this bank job. I'm gonna serve you with this job. Still work on music, but if you want to bless it, go ahead and bless it. And Big Boy, as soon as I had that realization in my heart and prayed that prayer, immediately God started moving.
Hey man, it sounds crazy when people say "let go, let God." It sounds like such a cliche or just such a phrase.
It sounds churchy, but there's wisdom in that.
But how do you feel when you say I'm pursuing this and you think that you're doing what you're supposed to do? You know when people say, man, I dropped everything and I pursued God, and because at some point you think this is what you're supposed to do,
for sure.
But everything around you is falling apart.
Yeah. Like I knew I was supposed to do it. I just felt like I was doing it incorrectly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was forsaking what was what my responsibilities. Right. I'm supposed to be the head of my house. I'm supposed to take care of wifey and the kids. Let me pay these bills. Right. Let me make sure there's a roof over my head and the car payment is paid. Right. How I'm gonna be a rapper, but my house is falling apart.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That ain't gonna work. And so what I did, I was working and working on the music.
Right.
That's when it started to really blend and go crazy for me.
Right. How long have you been married?
Hey, in 6 months it'll be 10 years.
Damn.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah,
I
man.
know, brother.
And you're like 12 years old?
We got married quickly.
Yeah. But when you know too, though.
When you know, you know.
He said
Yeah,
you
man.
12 years old.
Yeah,
That is funny.
yeah, man. This dude.
Hey, look, we got engaged like within 2 weeks of meeting each other.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm jealous.
Like you said, when you know,
You know. And it sounds so crazy when you say, oh, I knew. You know? And then when you look in the rearview mirror, it's like it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, what does the windshield look like, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you look in the rear view and it's 10 years, what's ahead of you through that windshield? It's got to be, you know, some of this, because I'm pretty sure she's seen you at your so-called worst.
Yeah.
Oh, she was there when I had the wooden chains. I had the mohawk with the dyed right here, the cheetah print, the leopard print. Brother, I was out here tripping.
Man, stop talking. We're going to search them pictures. I'm going to add it in the interview. But what about people that say, man, like, okay, y'all wearing jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Like there's this stigma that goes with certain things.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They go, this is the circle.
Right.
Get in that circle if you Christian, and if you not, get out the circle. It's like, nah.
Oh, brother. Listen, I listen, bro. I'm a product of fashion. You know what I'm saying? We from
I can
California.
tell y'all color coordinated and whatnot.
Yo,
This
listen,
dude,
bro,
man.
we're from Cali. We live in Southern California. Like, you think I'm finna be dusty out here?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Can't do that.
You know what I'm saying? And so even in my comments, like for me right now, I'm really like having a hard time like not clapping back at a lot of people.
He dressed like the world.
He dressed like the world, right? He got ice around his neck. Oh, look at this. He's profiting off the name of Christ. What is he doing? And even 7 days ago from today, I posted a concert clip. We performed in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Mike Ty's church. They are flaming me right now.
They're cooking them.
Oh, it looks like the club. Oh my God. Oh, I don't care if he's talking.
Did you put that up on your social media?
It's there right now.
Yeah, I think I saw it. It wasn't the club? No, I'm just playing. like no, because I'm telling you, man, I was like, dude, where are they at? If it's the same one I saw, but that is today too, man. And you're doing, and it sounds crazy when you say, man, I'm doing God's work. You're doing your work, but also, man, like think about where people would have been at if they wasn't at that show.
Come on.
Or where people could be at.
Yeah.
Come on. At the end of the day, like, you feel me? We're doing it. We're doing it for the right reasons.
Right.
Like, we're doing what we feel like God called us to do. And we're not doing it for self-glorification or for the finances, right? Us being obedient to what we feel like God called us to do, all of those things gonna come with it. But we don't do it for that.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is like, you know, people, it's, you know, where the Christian hip hop space, like where it came from, has a lot to do with this, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, also people got to realize, yo, this is our job.
Right.
This is what we do.
Yeah.
This is our job.
Yeah.
And they, you know, and because people get so used to like, oh, like, well, yo, your ministry has, you know, your ministry, that word ministry gets used a lot in the Christian, you know what I'm saying, space. And so it's like, yo, no, like, this is my job. I'm glad that my art can minister to you. It can minister to you, but this is not my ministry.
Gotcha.
Right? My life is my ministry. Like that's what my ministry is.
That's good,
this is my job. I do this to feed my wife, to feed my kid. Like that's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like Yeah.
Hey, man, what about, and I talk with people about this a lot, and I do this thing called the enoughs. And the enoughs are, and that's with anyone that you see on the wall, anybody that's coming to the neighborhood, anything that you see on social media that I've had guests in here. There's just this thing called enoughs. And what are your enoughs? Is it you got to be hip hop enough? You got to be Christian enough? You got to be, West Coast enough? Do you have to be? There's a lot of enoughs, and we all got them. If you were to think about your enoughs, even when you say you're getting flamed on social media, because down, that could be, oh, wait, hold on, he's not Christian enough. Oh, he's not, what are your enoughs? And it's not complaining. It's just sometimes we got to recognize, do you have to be Christian enough? You have to be hip hop enough?
100%.
Young enough? And fashion, like there's a lot of enoughs that everybody got to deal with. And everybody got their separate enoughs. What are yours? I know what I just named because y'all like, yeah.
You definitely. I mean, you gotta have enough money. You gotta be handsome enough.
Yeah. I lost there.
You got.
I'm sorry about that. You know what I'm saying?
But it's like enough that I feel like that I need for myself, or like enough.
Just period. Just broad show, not even for yourself.
Saying like what people's perspective.
Oh yeah, people they look at us like. You gotta be Christian enough, because if you're not, then we can't play you in our car or in a house or in a church. You gotta, and then some people's like you gotta be hip hop enough, like you said, but also you gotta be fashionable enough because a lot of people are Christian enough and they're good with hip hop, but if you can't dress, and then you're not a star, right? Because a lot of people are star worthy if they can dress, but they may not be hip hop enough.
Like I see that this is you guys, and it's not a costume.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, we got to go see Big Boy, so let me see. I got to put on my hip-hop costume. You know what I'm saying? Like, man. But I'm pretty sure, like, there's got to be a lot of enoughs when it comes. What about elders in the church that see what you guys are doing? And I know there's some that can embrace, but are there any that's like...
Well, let me just chime in on this. I had to come to the realization earlier this week because, Big Boy, when I tell you, there's thousands of people. When I say flaming me, there's thousands flaming me for, I guess, not being Christian enough, right? Or
on
not
both sides, in the church, outside the church.
These are people in the church. Okay. And so I came to the realization, it's like, maybe the people who are flaming me, or the majority of Christianity, does not have my same Christian experience. My Christian experience, when I came into the church, that church I told you about, every week in youth group, we turned up for God.
Right.
We dancing. We turf dancing for the Lord. Like all kind of stuff. I come from that, right? And so when I post that on social media and I get flamed for it, at first I was confused. Like, what are y'all talking about? We're doing this for God. Like, y'all ain't never seen this before? But now it's like, oh, snap. Maybe these people never encountered this type of Christian experience or this type of Christian service or none of that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I want to clap back at people, but maybe this is still new to a lot of people. We're like the hippies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is it even Christ-like for me to go on your social media and say something crazy to you?
Yes. No, it's not. So the funny thing is absolutely not. The funny thing is, it's like, there's this thing where they go, a lot of people said this to me, specific, they'll be like, oh, you need to answer for X, Y, and Z. You need to give explanation for, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, yo, you don't know my middle name. You don't, I don't know. Right. I've never met you in my life. And they're like, oh, well, we're brothers in Christ, so that gives me access to you. Brother, no, it does not.
I heard that.
Absolutely. That could not be further from the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, that's not the case. That's why we're supposed to have church communities.
For sure.
We're supposed to have people in your life that can go, yo, you're wilding.
For sure.
And call you out when you're actually wilding. And there's another thing that, like, on that note, you were saying, the funny thing is this, like, oh, people dancing and going up and, saying it's a concert. And, well, it doesn't matter if you're doing it for God. It's like, to me, that's how I think about it. Okay, it doesn't matter. That's not a sin. Wait, hold on. Dancing?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Breaking it down, all that. That is not, like, people will make sins out of thin air.
Yeah.
Like, our brand new sin just dropped.
Yeah, man.
New sin just dropped. It's breakdancing.
Right.
It's rapping. It's jumping
it's,
at a concert. It's being at a concert. New sin. It's like, no.
But even just growing up in the church, man, like we did some of our biggest so-called turn-ups in the church.
come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like dancing and, and I see people shoot up and down the aisle, and I think it's a feeling. There's just a feeling, and I think that you guys give people a feeling. And I'm not trying to battle between what you guys are doing and battle the church and battle, secular music, but I just wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that what you guys are doing is just so beautiful, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are extremely talented. And also it's just one of these things where you know how somebody is like, and there's been, many before and, God willing be many after, but there's just sometimes where you got to strap something to your back.
Yeah.
And you got to carry the load. And it seemed like y'all strapped something beautiful to your back and y'all carrying the load. And the ones that understand it, they understand it. Those that don't possibly will. And those that don't want to probably may never. But I always tell people, I say, man, if I was an artist and I had a show at Crypto and there was a show over at the Forum, only thing I can worry about is my show that I'm doing at the Crypto.
For sure.
I can't worry about what's going on in the Forum right now.
For sure.
So that's the same thing. The ones that want to hear you and that you're talking to, and those are the ones you're performing to.
Yeah.
There'll be some that you'll never so-called convince. They'll never be a fan. And that's with any genre of music. That's with any art. That's with anything that you're selling to someone. It's not going to happen. So I wouldn't even kill myself. And it's crazy because that social media, I tell people, man, and I'm not just saying this, I say, man, social media is the devil. And social media is the gift and the curse, and you got to know how to use it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And don't get caught up in a lot of, what you're seeing on that social media either, because you know what it is.
Yeah, I do. I do. I got clapback fatigue for real.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it. Like, They gonna just let them talk. It's good for the algorithm.
Yeah, man.
Let them talk.
When was the last time you cursed?
Last time I cursed. Hey.
Last time that I cursed. It was time changing the line.
Last time when I cursed. It was when I walked out of church. It was when I stepped on the turf. Last time that I. All right, now, bro.
Can you write that down for me? That'd be my introduction.
Nah, let me tell you. Okay, I'll keep it 100.
Yeah.
I'll keep it all the way 100.
Oh, yes.
I'll keep it all the way 100. He ain't never heard me curse ever before.
Right. How long have y'all known each other?
We met in 2019.
Okay, so and he's never heard you curse in 5 years.
I don't even hear him say the N-word.
Right.
He never heard me curse. Okay, so.
Oh, I heard you say the N-word one time.
So, my phone.
What, Noel?
Yeah, Noel. My phone be tripping, right? Sometimes. And I'm big on content, right? And so I'll be on Instagram a lot. I had this very important post that I was supposed to post. I'll do this thing where I go live, right? I'm like, all right, Glow Nation, that's the name of the fans, right? Glow Nation, I'm finna post in 5 seconds. Go to my page in 5 seconds. I end the live. I'm trying to post this post, and there's an error message. Remember that day?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was an error message. It's not posting. It's not posting. It's not posting. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, but listen. I didn't cuss and continue to cuss. I cuss. I'm like, oh, sorry, Jesus, and then I kept going.
Man, that was, you said heck, didn't you?
But listen,
dang, that don't even count, Miles.
But that's
said heck.
But that's what the faith walk is, like not being comfortable.
So you didn't say the F word?
You feel me?
Did you say the F word or the H word?
You bleeped it out. You know that was
okay. There it is. and that's that human thing.
That's a human thing,
right?
You know what I mean. But having a relationship with God, is knowing that okay, this may be a human thing. But
I thought
I'm
you
not
were
gonna
perfect.
Rest in it. Hey,
Miles is.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm not.
But no, that's what people are supposed to think. Like, oh, wait, what? While we dropping F-bombs all day. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So, and how long ago was that?
Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm a professional repenter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Aren't we all?
I know how to turn from my wicked ways. You know what I'm saying? Or at least try to. You said, when was that?
That was like 2 weeks ago. Or a week and a half?
It was a week ago.
A week ago?
Yeah, that's my guy.
About a week ago.
Then you marked the calendar, huh? He was like,
hey, man, it's like Alcoholics Anonymous. He lost his coin. Like,
no. Unfortunately for me, that's just that's a regular struggle that I got.
Right, really though.
So I yeah.
But how can you not do it with just being human? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you recognize it immediately. You know what I'm saying? But it's like human, like my guy Jose, who I've referred to before. I asked Jose, I said, man, when was the last time you cursed? And he's like, Big, I don't know. like 20 years or 20-something year.
That's incredible.
But then he loved Ice Cube. So I'm like, you cursing in your head, Jose. You know, like it's any he loved Ice Cube. He loved Snoop. We go to the concert. I'm like, hey, you cursing in your head, huh? Oh, man.
That is so funny.
I'm like, you cursing in your head, huh? You're going to be at church tomorrow for 4 more hours.
I can't lie, though. I've mastered the art of, like, singing a song and bleeping out the words I don't want to say.
He's really good because when we was on the road together, you know what I'm saying, we was listening to what we listened to. You know, we was listening to Kendrick. We was listening to, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was listening to everybody. And like, you know, I got my problem. So we rapping. I'm like, I'm looking at him. I was like, oh, he dodging every word. Yeah. He dodging every curse word. Then I was like,
how are you doing this?
I was like, maybe I need to lock in.
Right. But it's also human, and now those are the enoughs too, man. Yeah. Well, those are the enoughs. What about the tattoos? Have you gotten?
I get that a lot.
Right.
They get me. They get me.
Tattoo police.
Yeah, the tattoo police is real.
Yeah,
the funny
man.
thing is that they don't, you know, all the people that have real problems with the tattoo. Here's the thing. Fun fact about me, I love to like study like scripture. I mean like theology and like church history and all that. Like I'm a nerd about that stuff.
Right.
And so every time someone comes to me with the tattoo nonsense, it's a very easy like squashable thing because they don't understand the text. You know what I'm saying? Like tattoos is not a sin. There's a thing that was happening in the Old Testament that, you know, our text says mark your skin, but it was cultures around that were marking their skins in worship to gods and you know, in worship to the dead, right? Like cutting themselves. Like that's not tattoos. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be if you were like, hell, I want to get a pentagram on my chest and says all hail Satan. Like, yeah, you could do that nonsense. But simply just getting tattoos, nah. But yeah, people come after me for that. They say I look like I've been to prison, or like I look like a gangbanger. Right. Or, you know, my mom said I got the cross on my face. My mom was like, no, they're gonna think it's a teardrop. I'm like, no, they're not.
Hey man,
no, the teardrop is very.
But haven't
very
you
clear.
noticed even before, and this for both of you, but haven't you noticed that you kind of value a message different depending on who it's coming from?
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's gotta almost look like you. You almost gotta be cut from the same cloth. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to have a conversation with you and you tell me something, like when you see people say, hey man, don't do such and such. You're like, man, why are you telling me that? They say, man, I was on the yard. I did what you were doing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This person level of respect. I can identify with you. So
and
you
they
know what I'm going
the same footsteps. You know what I'm saying? So when people look at you guys, they say, oh, okay, you know what, man, he looked like me. Yeah. He talked like me. You know, so there's a trust in having this like thing that I feel like, you know, like if we put this up, like if I put y'all music on, or if I just saw y'all on social media and I turned the volume down and I just saw the crowd. You'd be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And then you turn it up. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. But you could see that you guys, you know, if somebody just freeze frame this, it's like, man, who's in the neighborhood if they don't know? For sure. They don't know the conversation, but they can just look at something. Yeah. And then when they open it up or turn it up and they hear the message, it's totally different. I remember I had Tyrese in the neighborhood one day, man, and we were talking about, you know, Tyrese and God and so on and so forth, and just the comments were beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And they probably wasn't expecting a lot of talk in the conversation, but the comments were extremely beautiful. Yeah. And I think that when people see, and we have these dialogues, man, and it's crazy because you guys aren't out to hurt anyone. Right. Great message, great music, you're doing it right. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell that it's a beautiful art form and y'all are extremely tight on what y'all do. You know what I'm saying? So January 2025, man, when y'all drop the album, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the title West Indies, man. Oh, I wish I would have grabbed that. Hey, man, there's a lot of people on the West Coast that was like, oh, I wish I had that.
For sure.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
fire.
Dude.
I love that.
The
I'm
merch finna go
surprised that
crazy.
didn't get. I'm surprised 40 Water didn't get that 25 years ago.
25 years
30 years ago, West Indies?
Because they big on independence. in the
Come
Bay,
on,
you know what I'm saying?
man.
West
Hey, dude,
Indies.
when I saw it, I was like, oh, genius. I had Ani Google. I was like, man, do they own it?
Yeah.
Hey, let's put a TM next to that joint.
Yeah, as you should.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
man, now, Christ, like, is that like merch for you as well?
It's the brand.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. You brought me in to get down.
He
too.
said,
Christ
"Hell,
like
heck
collection.
yeah."
Yeah, I was gonna say, heck yeah. I'm gonna tell you, I curse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. Oh, do I curse? I try not to say, oh my God, but I
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, curse daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, I feel it.
Me and
Yeah.
you got the same. I'm trying to tell you, big. Like, yo, my wife be on my head top. She's like, yo, that didn't even need to be said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right.
Right.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's just so it's in my, you know.
But it's realistic too.
Yeah.
Hey man, do people ever feel like you guys are like the Christ cops or the preacher police?
Not
You know
me.
what I'm saying? Like,
Christ cop.
yeah,
The Christ cops is crazy.
because you know how like they throw the drink down or you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
it don't be
Put
that.
the smoke down.
It
Oh,
don't be
okay.
that. Sometimes it be like, like respect, and they put it out,
Right.
but we never.
Yeah.
But we never asked for that though.
They thinking harder than you are. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you that somebody be like, hey man, I just want you to know I only drink, socially. I'm like, I didn't even ask you
Right.
that. Like,
Yeah.
It's like they get convicted when we walk in the room, but like we don't be like, hey,
they go, yo, I only drink socially. I'm like, me too. I don't.
Yeah.
Why are
Like
you
y'all
telling
coming
me
in,
this?
somebody smoking in here? All right. Go to-
how dare you in the
Yeah.
name of?
oh man, yeah, but dude, just feeling y'all vibe, man. I'm so glad we had a chance to sit down.
100%.
And the door is open, bro. And I can't.
Thank you,
And when the new project come, double back.
Oh,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
You already know.
Hey man, it was a
Easily.
pleasure just sitting down with you guys too, bro.
If I could say one more thing
Please
before we
do.
go. Earlier in our talk, I said that me and John were some of the only West Coast Christian rappers doing it, but that was not accurate.
Right.
We have Mikey So Christian.
Go ahead now.
We have Josh P.
Josh P is crazy.
Josh P is crazy. We have R. Keeley.
Yeah.
We have Lil DeRay. We have
Yeah.
there's a movement.
Glenn Ray, we got
movement.
yeah.
A movement rising up, and I feel like we'll be kind of crazy to not at least say a little something about
Yeah.
what's going on out here. You feel me? And what I love about it too is infiltrating mainstream.
Ain't it, man?
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
We're gonna keep running it up.
Yeah,
For
man.
sure.
And you starting to see that even more so with like some of the music, even Jelly Roll, how certain things are getting
Yeah.
things are getting spiritual because that's who we are, bro.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
That's who we are, man. And you can't deny your truth, and you can't deny good music, and you shouldn't deny who you are.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that you guys are doing it your way, bro. And sometimes when you do it your way, we'll follow. You know what I'm saying? We'll catch up or we'll meet you there. You know what I'm saying? And I love what you guys are doing, man. And you know, I don't have to say it, but you know, don't swerve or curve for anyone.
Yeah,
Man.
You know,
Thank
like they didn't know that before they came in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we
like
not
I'm over here
gonna-
dropping jewels, like man, because I was just about to stop.
Sounds good though.
We're
And
not
then
gonna let the
Big
devil
said
get a
this.
hold of us.
Yeah, there it is right there, man. Well, thank you guys for coming into the neighborhood, man.
Man, thanks for having us.
All right,
for
John
real.
Keith, I'll call you later. We'll curse together. You know what I'm saying? But don't let Miles know. You know what
Oh,
I'm
we got,
saying?
but
gonna be
repent
on
right
three-way.
after.
Yeah.
Gotta repent.
There it is. No, but no, all jokes aside, man, thank you, gentlemen, for coming into the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
There it is. Y'all stick around. Well, I guess we done. No need to stick around. Big Boy's neighborhood.